Hello. Before we start today's episode, if you would like a condensed version of what I'm talking about in this podcast, go ahead and subscribe to the Perfectionist Guide. You can read the entire thing in 3 minutes or less. To access this, go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com/newsletter. Are you a bit of a perfectionist, type A, hyper performer? Then you know that having the audacity to see an ideal and bring it into reality while breaking generational habits of hustle can be tough, but it doesn't have to be. If you are ready to burn bright instead of burning out, to lead without losing yourself, and to enjoy the life you have worked so hard to create, then keep listening. I'm your host, America's leader on rewiring perfectionism, CLG, and this is Perfectionism Rewired, the podcast. Welcome to Perfectionism Rewired. Today we are talking about stress. I wish that I would have known about my own addiction to stress earlier. I knew that I felt a lot of pressure. I knew that I had insomnia. I had immune system, I had these things, but none of them were paralyzing. What I didn't know was all the effects that had been happening. And so this episode isn't to scare you at all. It's to raise awareness, hey, is there something here? And then with that awareness, for you to be able to make an empowered decision about what you want to do moving forward. Now is the quiz time, the questions time. These are questions to ask yourself. Do you tend to thrive on tight deadlines? Do you leave things till the last minute? Do you have a difficult time doing nothing at all? If you're just watching TV, is it uncomfortable for you to not also be on your phone or reading a book or working on a project? Does it take you a few days off to feel like you're on vacation? Are you able to relax when you're on vacation? Are you able to relax? Do you secretly check your work email while on vacation? Do you spend a lot of your off time or vacation time thinking about work? Do you worry a lot about what you might be missing? Do you feel physically uncomfy when you're disconnected from your cell phone? Do you find it difficult to turn your brain off at night? Do you find it difficult to turn your brain off? Is it tough for you to go to sleep? Do you find yourself pulling late night bedtime procrastination? Do you often middle of the night in a panic, unable to go back to sleep? Do you feel as though there is never enough time to get things done? Most days, do you feel as though what you accomplished is it's not enough? Do you feel as though you're constantly running from one thing to the next? Do you want to murder people while waiting in line at the pharmacy because you don't have time to wait? Do you have trouble making decisions? Every time you think that you've figured it out or arrived, does the line seem to move and it makes you feel like you never know enough to get true traction and momentum going? Yes, no. And then based on your answers to really see where you're at. Now, when perfectionists first come to work with me, they will be adamant. Maybe you are right now too, where you're hey, CLG, I thrive under pressure. It helps me feel driven to succeed and it boosts my energy. Okay. Cocaine has those exact same side effects. And the difference with stress is that unlike a cocaine addiction where you can remove the substance completely from an addict's life, you can't remove stress from your life. It's impossible. And a healthy amount of tension is actually good. What programs and other things that maybe you're trying haven't been helpful or maybe even made it worse. You're doing the Calm meditation app, you're going on retreats, you're scheduling massages, you're reading books, you're listening to podcasts, you're doing energy healing, you're taking a cornucopia of steps. And it's not really having the effect that you want it to have because you're treating the symptoms, you're not increasing your resiliency. Stress is only beneficial when you have the resilience to leverage it. It's a three-pronged approach that I take with you inside of Perfectionism Optimize, my one-to-one coaching program. We look at the areas that are causing yourself
undue stress. Let's eliminate those, seal up those energy leaks. Let's 2, work on your ability to be resilient to stress. And the third phase is give you better tools to handle and metabolize the stress that you have. Because the metabolism of stress is a huge reason why burnout happens with perfectionists. We were never, or at least I wasn't taught, and I've yet to find a client who was taught of like, oh, this is how you metabolize your stress. I was just taught to ignore it or to suppress it. It's got to go somewhere. It stays in your system if you don't metabolize it. And when you metabolize it, that's when you are able to be resilient. Stress changes the way that your brain's neurons communicate with each other. And chronic stress causes your brain and your nervous system to adjust to a hypervigilant and reactive state. The last episode I talked about like a stress cocktail that is mainly full of cortisol and it's full of dopamine. Both of those, like sugar or eating a piece of cake, it tastes really good on the first bite, right? But then the white sugar, the white flour, your glucose levels over time, there isn't nutritional value there. And, your teeth can rot and it can cause all of these detrimental health factors. And it's the same thing with stress. So cortisol, it's meant to be used when you really need to focus, like it is a life or death type situation. When your homeostasis inside your body gets used to functioning like with a high stress level, a high level of cortisol, then that's when you start unconsciously seeking out you never let yourself relax. I'm speaking from experience here. A huge part of my own rewiring, I remember I was telling my coach, I was like, Shyla, I am so tired. I don't know what's wrong with me. I was like, this coaching that we're doing, I'm just like exhausted. And what she brought to my attention that I thought was so interesting was that how tired I was feeling wasn't anything new. It was how my body had always felt, but my nervous system was so frozen that I wasn't connected to it because I was in such a maladaptive, perfectionist, unhealthy, disconnected, burnt the F out space. What happens over time is your brain develops a tolerance for stress, meaning that you need more of it just to feel the same rush. So those benefits of what the cortisol and the dopamine is giving you, you need more of it. Just like a drug addiction. What this can look like is you will take on more projects than you can actually handle, or you will wait till the last minute to get something done because your adrenal system, that's what fuels stress hormones. It's forcing you that you have to work harder to get the same burst of cortisol and adrenaline that are released when the body is under pressure. When you metabolize the stress that you have, you can be more productive than you are now. Because what I realized other systems and all the other books and coaching were missing is that they were taking away what we were benefiting from the stress and they weren't giving us anything else to replace it. So in neurosculpting, the proprietary method and process that I developed, we reduce the stress in your life. We also strengthen your resilience so you're able to handle more because your interior capacity gets built up, and we give you better skills. So that way, when you metabolize the stress, you're not depleting yourself and it doesn't take you having to take 3 months off work and going and living in a cabin somewhere. The bonus part of it is the neurosculpting process is it's engineered so that what you're doing gives you the cortisol and the adrenaline and the dopamine, but in healthier ways. So for example, if you're used to spending 100 hours on a legal brief and waiting to turn it in into the last minute, what we do is I'll say, okay, you're going to spend 4 hours on this legal brief and you're going to turn it in. And so you get that, oh, you're under pressure. You're like, you're still experiencing that, but then you turn your legal brief in 2 weeks before you need to get it over to the client. You just got, what is 100 minus 4? You just got 96 hours back into your life. Here's what I want to leave you with. You don't need to change at all. I just want you to be made aware. Right now, you are running a strategy. If you answered yes to most of the questions, this resonated with you. You are running the perfect strategy to stay addicted to stress and everything else that you have in your life right now that's bothering you, your relationships, your health, your body, your career. Like, if someone were to ask me, how can I stay addicted to stress? This is what I'd tell them. I'd say, focus on the past all the time. I would be breathing really shallow. I would eat a lot of shitty food. I wouldn't take care of myself. I'd make myself into a victim for sure, for sure. I'd probably get really depressed. I would make sure that I found a group of other people who were also really stressed and complaining all the time. And we would just have a big pity party and our lives would suck. But hey, we're not alone, right? Misery loves company. I wouldn't get much sleep. Oh, I would have all the alerts on my phone all the time. I would wear an Apple Watch. My phone would probably be the last thing that I would see when I went to bed and the first thing when I woke up in the morning. I would answer my phone every time somebody called. I would make sure that my text messages were at inbox 0. Oh, I would definitely be going on to Instagram, looking at people I went to college with and seeing what they were doing and then comparing my life against theirs. I would make sure to go on ones that made me feel really crappy about myself. I would also be listening to a lot of true crime podcasts, anything to really just raise my anxiety level. Oh, you know what else I would do? I would look at all of the child sex offenders in my neighborhood and I would print out a map and I would have that on the fridge. So yeah, that is the perfect strategy if you want to have a shitty stress addicted life. If you answered yes to a lot of these questions today, you are running the perfect strategy to get you exactly where you are. And what this podcast about is doing more for yourself and for your family. That's going to require you to do something different. And anytime that you make changes, it feels uncomfortable, right? Like when we're going to the gym, you have some weights, but that's the only way that a muscle grows. Maybe you do notice that you are addicted to stress. But now the question becomes, is this where you want to stay? You get to decide if you are more committed to your stress or to your success. It's the question of are you going to set yourself up for survival or to succeed? There's patterns that make you really stressed out that I've talked about in this episode. But there's also patterns that make people ambitiously joyful and succeed and have it so that you feel as amazing as your life looks. I can train you in those patterns. That's what I'm here for, so that you show up powerfully. And this isn't just about you reducing stress or succeeding more in your career. It's about you being in integrity and being whole and complete and really owning yourself. I promise you, if you stay on the pathway that we lay out together, the goals that you have, they become inevitable. It can't not happen. Go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com/services.
If you noticed in this episode, I read you like a menu, then definitely go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com. Check out the Perfectionism Rewired Accelerator. I've done the hard work and taken out the guesswork to give you frameworks backed by neuroscience, proven to work even for the most type A, high-strung, stubborn, control freak perfectionists. In the first 30 days, you'll possess a quiet confidence so secure, your self-compassion will go up at least 250%. So if you want to save yourself years of trial and error, go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com/accelerator today. Or just click the link in the show notes to check out the Perfectionism Rewired Accelerator.